My name is Robert Friedman. I am a senior accounting major here at the University of Nebraska at Kearney, and today I wanted to give you guys a brief presentation over a job opportunity that I have today. Currently, just a little bit about myself. I'm the business manager for the newspaper here at UNK with the Antioch newspaper. I've had an absolutely wonderful time, and I've been for 2.5 years now. And sadly, my time has to come to an end. Well, not so sadly, because I'm graduating, so I can go into better things within my life. But first and foremost, I want to tell you guys a little bit about the job description that we're looking for. What we're looking for is a replacement for me, basically. Your title would be, first and foremost, assistant business manager, and then you would transition into the business manager position. So a little bit about the job in general. What we do is I am basically the newspaper's bookkeeper. I do a lot of the basic entries that they do. It's real application of the stuff that you guys are doing right now. And the majority of my job is creating invoices, entering in payments, and another large part of my job, and probably the part that can get not frustrating, but is probably the hardest part of the job, is I do financial reporting. A lot of that is done through QuickBooks, but QuickBooks doesn't do everything. And that's not really the hard part, creating the documents. It's explaining to people what the numbers mean more than anything else. For example, in this department, we all understand what a balance sheet means. We understand what a cash flow statement means. Or if you don't, you will. Anyways, it's hard for me to, since I am in the Department of Communications where my job is out of, I have to report the financial position of the business to communications people. They sometimes just don't speak the language that we speak. So it's sometimes, really just going line by line with people and saying, okay, here's what this means. Because it's not enough to just hand somebody a statement. You have to tell them what it means more than anything else. So I'm looking for somebody with great communication skills and is willing to take on that challenge. Another major thing of what I do is I do a lot of budgets. I do the budget for the Antioch newspaper. I budget not only how much we're going to receive in national ads, but also for local client ads as well. And of course, there's several other responsibilities that I'm not going to mention here, but you'll be able to see a majority of the things on the job description that your teacher will hand to you. So other things than that, just a little bit about the Antelope, and how we're doing. We've had a net income for the newspaper of over $5,700 for the last 2 years in a row, which net income of that amount is tremendous for any newspaper of our size to receive. It's almost really unheard of for us to receive that much income. So we have done a great job, and I feel like there's a lot to attribute to that. The first and foremost thing is that Dr. Christina Jackson, the advisor for the advertising side of the newspaper, has done a tremendous job with getting the advertising staff to really push themselves and push for the best possible work they can produce. And because of that, people have been more willing to buy advertisements from the newspaper. In fact, our national ad sales and our local ad sales are pretty much 50-50, whereas before it was probably about a 60-40 split with national ads coming in with revenue and individual local client ads. So we have done a tremendous job in picking that up. And it's been such dramatic growth. I can guarantee you right now that if you have a position with us, you will not be looking for any job anytime soon because we will most certainly have work for you. And the other major thing that I would mention is that I've done a little bit of streamlining with the position. I've updated our account receivable maintenance, which I do a little bit of collections as part of my job. The collection procedures are very easy. Generally, I just call somebody up and say, hey, did we forget about this payment? And they say, oh, yeah, I did. Here's a check. Very, very simple. And if there are other situations, we have steps to take in those regards. But generally, people before were not doing that, and now that I've streamlined that, we have less doubtful accounts, and we're receiving more income because of that. And also, I just wanted to discuss with you, what kind of things do I love about this job? The first and foremost thing I can say is that there's a lot of autonomy in this job. You are basically your own boss to a major degree. You set your own hours. You will be in the office about 2 to 4 hours a week, but when you want to be in the office is really up to you. Um, and like I said, you get it's an office. Literally, this is my office right here. It's actually pretty nice, actually. If you look around, we actually get Mac computers. They're very fun to play with. Free printing, always a plus. Um, and the more important thing to me though is that this is real accounting finance experience. This is real application. In fact, one of my favorite things about this job is that I get to apply all the stuff I've learned from my systems class and all of my accounting 250, 251 classes into this. And it's so much fun for me to do. Just like how to improve the processes of the business side of the Antioch newspaper. Um, you know, it's such a fun job, really. I mean, I work with great people, and there's not a whole lot I can really complain about. Plus, what other undergraduate student is going to get their own office? Really, what other position is going to offer that? So there's a lot of benefits to this job, and plus you get to put on your resume, I was a manager of something before you even graduated college. That is a tremendous plus, I think, on a resume. And also, you get to learn QuickBooks. You get to be proficient in QuickBooks. And that, once again, is a skill that I find very, very important. Um, and you also get to transition into the business manager position. The business manager position pays quite a bit more than the assistant business manager position. And it's extra income that you probably didn't have before. And who couldn't use more money? So you're probably wondering, what's next with this position if you're really interested with this. We are looking at candidates right now in Accounting 250 and 251. So what we have here is I'm going to have you submit an application, and you're also going to today receive a description of the position as well. So with that, your teacher should hand out to you two pieces of paper. One looks like this, says description on it, and there's another one with the actual application. Please make sure everybody gets one of these today. And I think that you guys, look at it, see if you have any questions. The applications are due February 1st, 2012. We will accept applications after that point. But full consideration will be given to candidates first if they submitted their application before February 1st. Okay, you can hand them into Dr. Christina Jackson in the Mitchell Communication Center, room 158. It's kind of in this wing. So if you get lost, ask Judy in the communications office. She'll be more than happy to direct you. Otherwise, if you have any other questions, my contact information is on the sheet, my phone number and my email. I prefer email more than anything else, but I'm definitely more than willing to take any questions whatsoever about the position. So you're probably all wondering next, if you're interested in the position, what makes the perfect candidate? And what I'm really looking for, and the minimum expectations are, first and foremost, you need to have a B or better in Accounting 250. Now, I think that I'm talking to a 250 class right now. The major thing I'm going to say is that by February 1st, you've probably had your first exam. And really, those first two exams, with those first two exams, can tell me a lot about your ability to do accounting. And what I'm basically going to ask is that you just produce to me how you're doing in the course as of that point. The rest of the stuff that you'll learn within the newspaper, you're going to learn throughout your course as well in 250, so don't worry that much about it. The other thing I'm also going to need is you need to have a proficient understanding of Microsoft Excel. Basically, all I need you to know is cell references, because you're not going to do a whole lot more in Excel. We use Excel a lot, but mainly I use it to do my financial reporting. The other thing I'm going to ask, and this is the reason why we are looking at sophomores particularly, we would like a 2-year commitment out of you after you are done with your training period this semester. The reason why we're wanting that is because we found out with myself and other people on the advertising side that when you can stay in this position, it gives a great ability to it gives a great ability for you to continue to improve your own processes. For example, I've worked on the accounts receivable maintenance part. I've worked on streamlining on our internal controls. Um, a lot of that has been stuff that I've been able to do over the 2 year period, and we want you to be able to continue your work. If we have people continuously transitioning, we can do that, but we prefer people who can learn and apply the information from their classroom into the Antelope newspaper. So we're looking for somebody who wants to make improvements. Um, and beyond that, the perfect candidate, beyond the minimum expectations, is we need you to have excellent communication skills. Like I mentioned before, we are reporting financial data to outside people, basically. A strong ability to work independently, because there's not going to be a whole lot of people telling you, is this done, or you need to do this today. You're gonna know, this is what I need to get done today, and you're gonna do it. So basically, you need to have that strong ability to work independently. Beyond that as well, you need to have high ethical standards. We are a small newspaper, and there's only one business manager. We understand that you're gonna be training this semester, and I'm gonna be there. But beyond that, after that semester, there really isn't a whole lot of other control. We have to trust you to handle checks, and we also have to trust that you're willing to give us a high ethical standards. One of the major things I can think about right now is that we have an audit trail, and the audit trail does a lot for us in terms of bookkeeping and stuff. But to be honest with you, with a small business, you don't have a lot of internal control. So that's why we need somebody with a lot more with high ethical standards. And the last thing that we're really going to look for is customer service. I deal with my customers probably on a weekly basis, and I have to sometimes deal with irate customers, much like in any other customer service job. And in that situation, I have to work with people. I use all of my prior customer service experience to work with people. And as the business manager, you have full authority to take care of those situations. You don't have to wait around for the manager. You are the manager. So that's a very nice thing. Last thing you're probably worrying about is compensation. Because this does require a little bit of skill, when I was originally hired for my position, I did not receive a stipend. I received $0, but I was told, guess what? You have a job next year, which is awesome. As the assistant business manager this semester, you would receive a $400 stipend. For continuing with the Antelope newspaper and becoming the business manager, you would start off with a $400 stipend plus a $200 balanced book bonus. So at the end of the semester, your books need to balance. Not that hard. And every semester after that, you receive a $50 continuation bonus to your stipend. So every semester, you're going to get an extra $50. On top of that, we're very negotiable. So if you want to work your way up, say, you believe that you're putting in, the job calls for 2 to 4 hours a week, and you're putting in, 8 hours per week, then guess what? We'll be more than happy to compensate you for your time. And we're very, very willing to work with people. Trust me, we're doing fine financially. So, if you have any other questions, like I said before, please feel free to give me a call or give me an email, preferably. And we'd love to see your applications. And right now, I'm going to go ahead and end this video and have your teacher pass out the information I've given to her. And thank you guys so much for listening to my presentation. And have a wonderful day. Enjoy accounting.